Peace. It's the Hood Mystic representing hoodmystic.com. You can reach me at hoodmystic@gmail, Instagram at the Hood Mystic, Twitter Hood Mystic, www.facebook.com/Hood Mystic. If you want to donate to my channel, help support my content, paypal.me/Hood Mystic. Let's talk about it. Now I'm doing a redo of the new moon in Pisces, basically because my volume wasn't right in the last one. So generally, I just want to make sure you hear me, because if you can't hear me, then it's really pointless. So we're going to talk about the new moon in Pisces once again, which is happening March 17th, 2008. And what does Pisces represent? What does Pisces mean? Well, Pisces, if you take a step back and you get out of the stereotypes of Pisces and all of that, just take a step back and really examine Pisces. Pisces represents an ending of a cycle. So this is the end of the astrological cycle, or the astrological year. This is the end of the winter. So when we have spring, when we have Aries, that represents a beginning, okay? So when you have the two fish looking at each other or chasing after each other, we have to stop for a moment and peer into each other's eyes and see what we have accomplished, because we spent the whole year chasing after our tails, pretty much. And so now Pisces is the time where we finally stop chasing and we get to look and see. So this is a time for you to set intentions for your new season or your new cycle. And this is why we're talking about astrology right now, because we want to know what to do. We want to know how to handle our esoteric affairs, you understand? Our cosmological affairs. And so we have a human normal life that may have nothing to do with astrology, or it may have everything to do with astrology, just depending on how you look at it. If you think that life is a series of random events, this video isn't for you. If you think that you can somehow take control of your life and begin to work with nature, then this video is perfect for you. Some astrological concepts that we're going to be talking about in this video are as follows: Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Scorpio. We're going to talk a little bit about the North Node in Leo, and mainly we want to take a look at all of these planets that's going on in Pisces. We got the sun, we got the moon, and we got Chiron conjunct. We also have Neptune not far away. So we just want to take a look at these planets and discuss them and what they mean. We're going to take a snapshot of what the planets will be like on March 17th, 2018, to give us an idea of the energy for which will be on the planet at that time, so we can begin to plan accordingly. Make sense? So, new moon in Pisces, what does it mean? What are we trying to say? What is going on? All right. So, like I said, it's March 17th, 2018, and it's happening at 26 degrees Pisces. 26 is an interesting number to me because it's 13 times 2. So whenever you think about 13, that just represents, 12 plus 1, you being fully illuminated. And then you have your double side or your shadow side. And so that gives you that 26 energy, that dealing with your shadow energy. So not even does Pisces represent coming face to face with your shadow or coming face to face with your soul. It actually falls on the 26 degree Pisces mark. So that even gives it more oomph and gives it more ability. And so what does the 26 degree mark mean in real life? Like what is an example? Because a lot of people on YouTube, they talk about astrology and they use keywords that they find on the internet, and you leave the video no more better than which before you just basically masturbated 40 minutes of your time. So generally, we want to have examples and concepts that we can begin to work with, that we can begin to be like, okay, I can do this and that, and we can really manifest different things in our lives, and it's amazing. So, and we can understand the things that are actually happening in our lives. So the 26 degree mark, what would that represent? What are some examples? A calamity, twist of fate, having courage when you're in tough situations. How is that related to the 26 degree mark, facing your shadow, doppelganger, Pisces energy? Because this is how we awaken to shit. Calamities, twist of fate, having courage. This is how we know what the fuck we're made of. You understand? Generally, if you're gonna go through this Pisces energy and buckle up to whatever tension that you're feeling, that's just a representation of what you actually been doing this past year. This past year you've been fucking up. This past year you've been talking a good game, but you've been really slipping up. And now you dealing with types of situations where, you know, that fear is catching up to you. Now you're gonna have to really, you can't fake it in front no more. So you'll see people come to the forefront like, this is what I did, and now I'm trying to make it right. And then you'll have people, you know, committing suicide. So generally, when we want to talk about astrology, we got to talk about the light and we got to talk about the dark, because generally when you talk to astrology, you only hear the good shit. You only hear the favorable things, but that's not realistic. Every astrological concept has a light concept and it also has a dark concept, because that's the world that we live in. So generally, these are the conversations that you got to have, because you tend to want to avoid depression, being hurt, and all of that shit. So you just got to understand that sometimes things is going to be fucked up, and this is what I have to do about it. Okay. The third decan of Pisces represents all of these calamities and twisted fate, not because they're trying to make you upset and they're trying to hurt you. They are doing this so because the season is changing, my nigga. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, it hurts for a leaf to burst out of a motherfucking branch. It hurts for the flower to rise out of the ground. So whatever calamity or twist of fate that you are shaking, you know, that the soul is kind of being like, well, this gotta switch up, this gotta change, and it may hurt, but this is necessary. Whether it be purging, whether it be switching up your diet, whether it be stop fucking with that worthless ass person that you've been fucking with, finally making a decision, like I can't do it no more, because you know what I'm saying? So generally, we have to really understand that the season is changing, and we have to begin to set new intentions for this new cycle that we're going into called Aries, okay? Listen, this new moon is going to ask you to rely on your psychic proclivities. What does that mean? Generally, if it's winter time and I'm a tree and I've lost all my leaves, now when I sprout my leaves again, they're going to grow back in different places. Nature is going to be different from last season and this season. At your same park, the leaves are going to be different. There's going to be different flowers in different places. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing's going to be the same place. Even though the tree may be in the same location, there's going to be different leaves in different spots. So you can't predict it based on the past cycle. You have to predict it on your psychic intuition, trusting yourself and saying, this is something that I'm going to do differently. I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do differently, but I know that I'm going to do something differently. And so when you approach life like that, and when you approach your intentions like that, so this is a normal intention. I want a new house. This is a psychic intention. I want whatever my soul wants from me. Same energy, but different result. So generally, when things happen, you kind of know that, oh, my soul wants this for me because I set that intention, okay? You're in tune with yourself. It's a light side and a dark side. So there's people who are not in tune with themselves. So they don't understand the things that are happening. They don't understand the things that are changing for them. Gotta understand the difference. Are you going to be in tune with yourself, or are you going to be out of tune with yourself because other motherfuckers is hurt? It's a choice. New moon square Mars in Sagittarius. We talking about mediation and beef. And where is you at in this whole thing? Is you fighting for rights, or is you taking care of yourself and knowing what you need to do, or are you in the middle of somebody's beef? Let's talk about it. This energy brings upon intense dramatic feelings, if not with you, with people around you. You understand that this is a purging. Everybody that I know is going through some particular purging or something that they got to really let go and really adjust. So if you like got everything together and on top of your shit, you need to write a book and start passing it out to these niggas, because it's some shit going on. And if you out here perfect, let a nigga know how you doing it. Generally, when you deal with black people, you deal with repressed feelings. Because we so free and loving, when we see something we like, we want to say, you know, I think you beautiful. I love you. But in 2018, you're not allowed to do that. So when shit come out, cause shit be like high pressure with like a little hole of release when you probably alone or whatever the case may be. But sometimes that shit just bursts out. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that in other people. You need to understand that within yourself, because if it's something within you that's true and you not saying it because you afraid of what other people gonna think about you, that's only affecting and hurting you. This is this new moon in squares and Mars and Sagittarius energy, because new moon represents emotion. Mars represents energy, action. It don't necessarily mean violence or war. That's what they say on the internet. That's what they say if you Google it. Mars just represents passion, energy, your energy, and it's a light side and a dark side to it, because some people have it and some people are just like visceral with it, and some people are super passive, sitting in the house all day doing nothing but masturbating. That's the shadow side of Mars. But you gotta have that balance. You don't want to be so visceral, but you don't want to be so passive. So you gotta know that you have an energy, you have a voice, you have a force. And Sagittarius is a fire sign just as well. So, and a fire sign just means passionate, extra energy. So if you got fire, extra energy, and a light side is, to the Sagittarius, is like very goal orientated, knowing what you want. A dark side is just not doing shit and just still being goal orientated. So if you know a Sagittarius, they can either get some shit started or they can get some shit started. Like they can be the person that gets some things going, or they could be the person that get niggas fighting. So you gotta understand this Sagittarius instigative energy in your life and with around you. Stop fronting. Stop trying to cover up the shit that you trying to do with everything that you trying to be. Stop acting like you got money when you don't got money. Just pay your credit. Work on building your credit. Stop trying to act like it's something when it may not be there for social media, so people can just be like, hey, you is the man that got it popping, bro. Like you all of that to me. Hey man, I ain't like that. To each his own. Ultimately, the ego and everything you holding on to, everything that you trying to make people think that you are, is what's really truly destroying you. If you feeling any type of depression or hurt or sadness, you holding on to an image. It ain't gonna look right if me and you divorced. We've been together for too long. What's that image gonna be? But meanwhile, the person is just dogging you and not showing you no respect and no love, and within you, you know that you deserve love. New Moon square Mars and Sagittarius is going to wake that energy up inside of you. Like, you know you need love. Sagittarius is like, the path is like, you know you need some money. You know you need something going good for yourself. Mars is like, you damn right, I do. And your emotions may be like, well, I don't want to hurt John. That's a challenge, and that represents the square. So really, when you see New Moon square Mars and Sagittarius, you should understand what it's trying to say to you, rather than just like, I don't know, it's just so complicated. It's like, it don't make like. But then want to cry over some situation that you can't handle, but you don't want to sit back and just really fully understand it for yourself. So generally, when we say set completely new intentions from the soul, we're saying you're not going to win by trying to hold up a status quo when setting your intentions. So if you jealous cause somebody you know on Facebook bought a house and you want to get a new house, and so now you trying to set the intention to get a new house, then you probably going to be at the homeless shelter not for too long, because everything has a dark side. Generally, you got a nice house where you at, but you trying to compare yourself to other people, and it's just like, or you just trying to be something because you see other people being stuff and you not really paying attention to where you at, so you just trying to set intentions based on what other people is doing. That's how you don't win. You generally want to take the energy that you have and expand it. Take the energy that you born with and build upon it. Because you don't know how people looking at you trying to be like you. And that's real talk. You understand? And it's really about being consistent with this message and being confident in yourself. That's very important with this New Moon square Mars and Sagittarius energy. Why? Because people will try you and try to take you off your square. And if you ain't consistent, you'll be feeding into that shit. And if you ain't confident in yourself, then you'll believe that shit. I ain't gonna say it no more. Put some respect on it. We got the man baby here, Birdman, representing that Jupiter retrograde, Trine to the New Moon in Pisces. I'll break that down, but I just wanted to shine light on one of the funniest moments on YouTube history. But anyways, you have to respect the shadow. You have to respect the background nigga. Why? Because the background dude got more money and he could get you touched without you even knowing that you even being touched by him. Somebody punch you, somebody do something to you, and you know what I'm saying? You don't know why it's happening. Why shit happen. You ever be talking to somebody and they just be going through a whole bunch of shit and they just be sitting there talking about, like, I don't know why this keep happening to me. Why do bad things keep happening to me? I ain't gonna tell you no more. Put some respect on my name. You gotta respect the shadow. Cause I don't tend to suffer for lying to make you niggas feel comfortable. Me suffering so you niggas can be happy. I ain't gonna tell you no more. So let's talk about this. What's wrong with me? The new moon will be trine Jupiter and Scorpio, inspiring a generosity towards yourself. So you want to outsource your blessings. You want to thank somebody else or be in a relationship with somebody else, because once you're in a relationship, then shit will start really taking off for you. Or once you get a certain, oh, it's the car, or it's the neighborhood, or you know, there's no real generosity to who you are as a person. And a trine represents a talent. So if I can sing like Whitney Houston, but all I'm doing is like smoking weed with the homies and like not doing nothing in the realms of entertainment or singing, then it don't matter how good I can sing. So a trine represents a talent that we can either hone or we can either let go and just be like a wasted talent. And many people die with wasted talents. It's not like really nothing new. Like that's pretty much what people do. They don't really show themselves enough love to live a life that they truly want to live, and they will, you know, suffer for that. So Jupiter and Scorpio is shining light on all of the dark shit that's going on and all of the shit that you really need to take care of. And if you don't take care of it, you will be wondering why you suffering and why things is happening to you, and you just can't figure it out. And you know, you're not keeping it real. You're trying to hide from shit. And you're not trying to transform. You're trying to be who you think people want you to be, and you're not being true to yourself. And it's people that you want to chill with. It's things that you want to do. It's new stuff that you want to do. Don't be afraid to do that. And when you true to yourself, which you'll tend to see if you like on YouTube or any, like, you know, in the world how it's going, like if you in New York City, Atlanta, you see the people now that's really making the money, the people who have the wealth, is the people that's true to themselves. So, of course, this is a key to financial prosperity in 2018 as we go into the new moon in Pisces, which is a new intention and, you know, intentions from the soul, and the soul knowing truly what you want. So really aligning yourself with that energy, and it's like, you know, of course you'll be wealthy. Of course you'll have money, because you're not dealing with the soul like for no reason. You're dealing with the soul because the soul is knowing exactly what you want beyond what you can even think of, knowing what you want. March 8th, 3 days ago, Jupiter went into retrograde. And so for these next 4 months, Jupiter will be looking for poisoning and any blockages to your happiness and success. So what I will say, any type of third eye or any type of antenna pop up on a nigga, don't ignore it. It's just alerting you to poison, because Jupiter is a light. Jupiter is shining a light in Scorpio. And Scorpio just might represent some of that deeper, darker shit that you ain't even aware of. So pay attention to, you know, your third eye and your sixth sense. Speaking of third eye and sixth sense, we want to tap into some ancient ways of thought, ancient ways of being, which is truly within you, within all of us. The question on my Facebook page not too long ago was, do you think that everyone has a soul? And at the time, I had an answer, but as I'm doing this video, it just came to me. We all do have a soul. In fact, I could tell you where the soul is. It's the reptilian brain. And we all do have a reptilian brain. We all have a natural way to just be on this earth. You understand? We just naturally know how to be here. So yes, we all have a soul. Do we all deal with it? No, because we all are looking for different ways to get off of it, doing all different types of things to engage in it. So just like an animal, like all different types of beings, they have an intuitive sense of being in this world, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. And if we choose to tap into this and really bring that to consciousness, an old Seminole saying is, a new vision is created when we draw on the old ways. The old ways representing your reptilian brain, your fight or flight. This is what they say, but it's much deeper than just scientific explanations of something that is so deep and primitive within you. So we have to just talk about it. We have to fully understand it. And so before that, I just want to just go just on a overall summary of the new moon in Pisces in 2018. This new moon represents a deep need to succeed and be successful, and what you truly need and don't need for that process to manifest correctly. Listen, this new moon in Pisces in 2018 is we in manifestation. Like, not manifestation, like manifest station. Like, we at a train station and it's 1 million trains and we can go anywhere we want to motherfucking go. Now, if you're not aware of that, you'll just keep walking past the goddamn train stop. So if you want to tap into particular energy, if you want to do your own research, or if you just want to continue to live life, or you may not like me personally because of who I am, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to live the life that you truly want to live, then tap into this energy of a new cycle, a new way of being, a spring, a new year. You understand? Like, just because they tell you that the new year is on January 1st don't make it true. It just means you believe what people tell you. That's all that means. It just means you want to agree with everybody around you. But that don't make sense if you really think about it. How could it be a new year and it's fucking wintertime? So the new year represents springtime, and you feel it. It's you want to have sex again. You know what I'm saying? You want to get out of these clothes. You just want to have fun. Like, I don't know. So pay attention to what you're actually studying. Pay attention to who you actually want to be around. Do you see a future with these people? And really understand who you are and why you here on this earth. I think I can help you with that. I can't help you. She can help you. I can help you get to her though. Orisa of the week, OLOSA. Hoodmystic.com's Orisa of the week. This week we chose OLOSA to really observe and pay attention to and talk about. I met one of the brothers who painted this picture to the right in the E5 studies group. And, you know, people really into it because people always be talking about the same 7 Orishas and forget that it's literally hundreds of Orishas that we can research and deal with. So I tend to just talk about different Orishas every week and pay my respects, you know. OLOSA is the Orisa of the lagoons. She represents the lagoons that precede the ocean. So all river systems lead to larger bodies of water and things of that nature. And so the lagoon is the place before the ocean. So OLOSA represents that spot or that place. And even for she's a path of Oshun, so she represents a more primordial, more of a waste, to where, say for instance, like if Oshun is Beyonce, OLOSA is like Kelly Rowland. Even to a point that if Kelly Rowland ever taught Beyonce how to sing or how to really use her voice, like if I'm just using my imagination, this might not be true, but when Beyonce met Kelly kind of taught her how to really use her and project her voice, and really and that helped Kelly at the same time as it helped Beyonce. But generally people gonna respect Kelly or whatever the case may, or people gonna respect Beyonce, but if it wasn't no Kelly, it may not be no Beyonce. So generally I personally respect Kelly more than I respect Beyonce, but I understand why people like Beyonce more. You understand? Because y'all racist. But OLOSA represents one of the survivors of ancient Egypt as the deity of Sobek. And Sobek was a crocodile god. He represents the deity of power, fertility, and magic. Remember, power, fertility, and magic. What we talking about? We talking about all the shit that niggas truly want. Okay, so we want to deal with Sobek, right? We want to deal with. You don't want to deal with me. I ain't Sobek. I'm just saying, y'all niggas want power, fertility, and magic. You understand what I'm saying? So I would suggest dealing with some Sobek or some OLOSA stuff. I would expect OLOSA. You know what I'm saying? The newer version of Sobek. So OLOSA is known as the deepest Oshun, the Oshun that makes music. Just speaking of that Beyonce reference, you understand what I'm saying? Oshun makes the music. Like I personally like Destiny's Child more than I like Beyonce. You understand what I'm saying? Because like it's more. It's more. So. And even so, it's more of a harder, strict path of Oshun. So it's not like you going to deal with OLOSA and it's going to be easy and it's going to be more glamorous. Like if you would want to deal with Oshun, if you want to get all the attention and all the love and all the... Like I wouldn't necessarily... I would deal with... Matter of fact, I would deal with OLOSA if you was feeling insecure or anything like that, because she might be the pathway for you to get through it. Now, it may be a little bit of a darker, harder road, but it may be what's necessary for you to get to that light. So generally, I would deal with OLOSA for all different types of things, because she really transmits messages to Olokun, and Olokun represents the subconscious mind, the deeper part of your being. So generally, I want money is different from programming your subconscious mind to receiving money on a minute by minute basis and just receiving and attracting money. That's different from I really want money. That's really pointless. Like, who don't want money? Like, everybody want money. But to program your subconscious is to deal with Olokun, so you actually living in that light. So that's why Orishas want to, or children of Orishas, we want to deal with Olokun, because we really want to fucking program ourselves. We don't want to just want money. We want to have that money, and Olokun represents wealth. So yeah. OLOSA will help in the realms of beauty, love, hatred, severity, inflexibility, tolerance, and sensuality. So if any of that is something that you struggle with, or something that you want to invoke within yourself, or you want to rid yourself of any of these things, OLOSA would be the Orisa to work with. And do your research. If you don't know how to speak Spanish, then you should learn. Because a lot of this information is not in English, and it never will be in English, because they don't want your black ass to know this. Sorry. I mean, I grew up, and that's something that I learned as a child, and so I still keep it with me. So anyways, OLOSA is the lady crocodile Santeria goddess of Puerto Rico and Haiti. Uses crocodiles as her messengers, and as religion evolved, magic was the term applied to spirit operations in a particular cult, and it also referred to older ghost beliefs. So the crocodiles are messengers. The messengers to the ocean. And so when we deal with the crocodiles, we dealing with we are dealing with an energy within ourselves that has been externalized in the crocodile. What we see in the crocodile, we see in ourselves. It's not because we can't see it visually within ourselves. We use the crocodile as the theme to what we're talking about. What are we talking about? We're talking about the reptilian brain. We all have a reptilian brain. Back to that question, do we all have a soul? Yes, we do all have a soul, because we all have a reptilian brain. Okay? Reptilian brain is the brain that keeps the shit going. If your reptilian brain was to somehow go down, then you don't exist no more, buddy. You're out of here. Now, if your neocortex was gone, maybe you can't hear, maybe you can't see, but you can still live and you can still, do some stuff. But that reptilian brain get affected anyway, you don't exist. Why is that? Because the reptilian or basic brain at the base of the brain, which includes the pineal gland and the third eye or the pituitary gland, thinks only in terms of emotions and concepts. So let's take a second and think about that. All of this fly ass shit that y'all niggas be doing to open up your third eye, right? If the reptilian and basic brain, or the base of the brain, including the pineal body and the third eye, thinks in terms of emotion and concepts, why would you, unless, does a crystal make you feel spiritual? Or is it just the goddamn crystal? It's cool to have. I got crystals. I'll buy a crystal in a second. But I never think of it as spiritual. I just think of it as something that I want to have in my goddamn life. So generally, when we talk about spirituality, we're not talking about anything external that's not internal. So generally, when we want to talk about the emotional aspect of how to really deal with the magic, fertility, and power. Magic, fertility, and power. Okay? Third eye, pineal gland, reptilian brain. Then we have to think about the emotions and concepts that we put in front of it to really trigger it, to really access it, to really access OLOSA. Because the brain does not communicate in either words or pictures, my nigga. Just doesn't. Which is usually a barrier to understanding and control by the so-called higher parts. So your words and your pictures of I want a car, I want a house is a barrier. Do you understand? So if you can learn how to tap into your emotions in the different concepts, vision boards, using your psychic proclivities, just like going outside of your words and your pictures and your daydreams and your fantasies. Tap into your primitive nature, your reptilian brain, your crocodile, your OLOSA. Damn. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's very simple, but you have to really just take a step back and stop listening to niggas just jack off in your ear for 45 minutes. Men and women. Primitive representing first of its kind. Who are you? Are you black or are you original? I'm just asking. Do you represent the original people, or do you represent something that niggas created in the 1790 census? Just wondering. I represent the primitive force, the original people. They call us black, but I'm not what they call me. That concludes my presentation. Like always, if you want to donate to my channel, paypal.me/thehoodmystic. We got some wonderful things in the works. Hella transformations, hella new shit that we about to just start doing. So, any support is greatly appreciated. All the support that I've been getting, greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And we just gonna keep doing this damn thing, because as long as the stars is proceeding in the sky, I'm gonna be having some shit to talk about. So, you can't stop it. Have a great day, everyone.